Welcome to Dreadmoor, an indie first-person 3D fishing adventure RPG being developed by a studio called Dreamdock, set to release late 2026. Check their Steam page out, wishlist the game to let the devs know to stay tough and keep going. Also, please like and sub to the Northern Gaming crew as well. We begin our journey on the docks near an old moored fishing vessel, or rather our floating coffin, most likely empty and out of fuel, possibly not run in years. So we gather what supplies we can and we shove off. Without too much trouble, through mostly linear map design and calm waters, we reach our first destination, Land Ho. With just our grappling hook for now, we are presented with a puzzle regarding the rearrangement of different portions, sections, or chunks of an aqueduct-like water system, with the goal of properly routing running water to a turbine in order to open the gate to the next area. In the next area, we step into the fishing shop for the first time and are introduced to Gil. Through different dialogue options, Gil provides us some basic lore and a place to sleep for the night, ominously discouraging us from fishing after dark, which I will come back to at the end of the video. The next day, Gil, in exchange for our nightly sleeping quarters, requests we repay our debt through angling, the art of fishing. This is actually where I seem to have the most problems, which is unfortunate for a fishing game. To start, I wasn't really a fan of the very restrictive nature of the fishing mechanics. You had to park your boat within a small circular area and could not cast at all unless you were in that specific little area. And as you can see from the clip, I sped up. I was very confused by the situation. And even once you get your boat into that circle, you still have to cast into an even smaller circular area. And it just feels like I was being boxed in, like a night crawler.
That place is wrong.
I also think, specifically, the way the lure travels through the air after you cast the rod felt very snipey. It didn't feel, there was no floatiness to it, you know. Something weird also would happen with, I don't know, the time mechanic here, where when the lure was in the water, it just almost seemed like time was speeding up. But now that I'm watching the footage back, it may just be like a shitty optical illusion caused by the lighting system. But it seemed like it would go from noon to 9 p.m. very fast and then get super dark, so I'd get scared and turn back. These spots can also be fished out, so keep that in mind if you keep catching snappers while hunting for pooner. which in my opinion does add a patient, kind of adds like a patient, some people would call it a patience mechanic. To begin, we confirm our tackle and our bait, which in Dreadmoor can be crafted later on after acquiring certain materials, allowing us to catch a bigger, rarer fish species. Once we get our first bite, we are brought through the pretty standard, in some ways, fishing procedure featured in most fishing games, like dragging the rod, line left and right in the opposite direction the fish is traveling, to tire it out, while also watching not only the fish's stamina gauge, but your line's stamina gauge, so it doesn't snap. Your line will snap. Reeling the line in continuously without stopping will eventually cause the line to become tense and snap, adding a typical yet nice little sim element to the experience. I believe the meta here is really wearing down the fish's stamina until it passes out or something. That way you can reel in the fish without increasing the tension on your line with no risk of snapping it. I do like that there is a day and a night cycle. It would be cool if they made it so certain species of fish could only be caught at certain times of the night. Once we catch the fish, we are provided with some simple information, including our storage option. Our ship holds a lot of fish. The next day, we catch the rest of our snappers and process the meat into guts. Different fish produce different guts. After returning to the fishing shop, Gil congratulates our fish grinding skills, rightfully, and reveals they, and the creature, the thing growing out of his shoulder, they're moving away from this area due to lack of trade, and go on to explain how we shouldn't stick around here either, and are encouraged to keep exploring. We are then made aware of who I assume is or will be an antagonist capitalistic pig character, the Baron, who owns all the fuel and probably wipes his ass with it too. And then then, we are also introduced to the skill system and crafting. As we progress through the world, we will earn and find torn pages, which are shreds of information that act as progression points. You can save these torn pages up to earn blueprints for items like specialized bait, consumables, and rod upgrades. These blueprints can be crafted at a workbench with the right materials. At the workbench, you are given access to a recipe book where currently 90% of the items are unavailable because it's a demo. But I immediately notice a weapon available for crafting, a knife. It's never used in the demo, but it may indicate maybe hand-to-hand or hand-to-gill combat, or maybe a diving mechanic, or like a cutting nets, or maybe there'll be a diving mechanic with like a harpoon. The knife is explicitly listed as a weapon, though. With our fish guts, a metal gear, and some scrap metal, together, combined, we craft our first item, a special lure to attract peaceful fish. Also at this time, I, for some reason, got tripped out again by how fast the day-night cycle seems to speed up when you have a fish on the line. And this is a problem because it is mentioned more than once to not fish after dark. Maybe the time is being sped up on purpose to add a layer of anxiety. But since I'm scared, the crew is actually forced to turn back. We've also depleted our bait by it being eaten up by razor fins, which we are not looking for. It also goes on with a different species to simulate a diving fish that allows you, if quick enough, to deplete a massive chunk of the fish's stamina through a fairly simple minigame where you drag the slider as quickly as possible in a random direction. And this is tricky too because right after you drag that little minigame, your line tension seems to skyrocket, causing your line to snap if you aren't remembering your fishing fundamentals, the fishing fundamentals. And if you aren't paying attention or are jaded by shiny things, you might end up snapping your line. I also mentioned earlier that the boat's storage space seemed bigger than necessary. Here it is. My hope is that maybe we're able to store more than fish in here eventually, or maybe like they implement a netting system to allow you to haul in, multiple 5 to 6 fish at a time. That'd be cool. It would be cool. It would be cool. It will be cool, I think, if there was some sort of extended land exploration mechanic where you can find, I don't know, treasure trails, or finding, or like searching inside of a dead whale carcass, or pillaging the remains of a flooded out home, or for boat upgrades, or even furniture for your shack. It's an indie game though, so you gotta also be realistic, Your Honor. After we return home with our catch, we are dismissed from Gil's store to the next location, the riverbank, on a quest to reach a place called the Big Hollow that apparently has a dry dock for repairing our vessel. And based on the dialogue, that will include cleaning it up, maybe a new paint job, and reinforcing it. Especially, and I quote, especially if you're planning to sail to Sledge Bet, according to Gil, which appears to be a humble fishing village worth living in. And I hypothesize that when the full game is available, will be our final destination. We shove off and explore a little, farming for resources and buying up Gil's torn pages to max our stats as much as possible. It was unknown to me at this time if return was possible. Once we reach Riverlock, it becomes clear that we are going to have to fix an electrical problem that's keeping the lock from actually opening. And in order to fix this issue, we need additional upgrades, only available by catching a new fish species and harvesting a sticky sludge from within its body. This also, it turns out, requires a new rod, line, and a bait upgrade in order to catch this new fish, as well as a consumable for mending the electrical wire, indicating or maybe foreshadowing to me that these types of electrical issues may become a more common fissue. We easily craft our braided line. We still don't have all the materials needed to fabricate our new rod or lure yet, so some exploration was afoot. We're finally able to craft our new rod. After a good night's sleep, we head into Gil's and are introduced to item upgrades, and are finally able to equip our braided line to our reinforced fishing rod. And shown here, the different traits we are able to boost: line durability, catch speed, and stamina drain. I have said it before and I will say it again, motherfucker. Stamina is goated. So putting our points into stamina drain will be our best bet. Considering once we deplete the fish's stamina, the line durability becomes absolutely irrelevant. After farming for some more biologic materials, we are finally able to craft our rainbow fin bait, a special lure that allows us to catch predatory fish. Once we reach our new fishing spot, we are given instructions on catching predatory fish as compared to peaceful fish. After a few different outings, we are finally able to reel in a bloodgill. After crafting our electric repair kits, we head back to the lock with our sticky substance in tow, repairing our buzz and rerouting the water to the turbine, opening the next portion of the level and ending the Dreadmoor demo. Looking at the pros, the game didn't feel super grindy nor overly drawn out. It features beautiful colors that are used to express mood perfectly. I love the melancholy soundtrack on top of great sound effects that help inflect the visuals very well. Crafting was fun and reasonable. Many blueprints were available, and there were many options for upgrades too. The boating feel very good. It felt awesome. The weight, it felt good. The weight and density of the vessel was wonderful, and the free cam movement made it very cinematic and immersive. I did not like the casting feel. It was very tight, A to B. It felt very snipey. And I often felt very boxed in. I couldn't even throw myself into the water if I just felt like it. But the fishing as a whole was fun, and I can't wait to see more fish species and other catch strategies, so I look forward to that. There is a lot more to work with too, including boat upgrades, new fish of course, maybe some cosmetics for our fishermen, lore-friendly outfits for Malcolm, our player character, as well as maybe some land exploration or even combat, underwater combat. A huge waterfall. You can check out the Dreadmoor demo. You can check out Dreadmoor by DreamDock yourself. It is set to release later this year, so add it to your wish list and stay up to date with those dates. Also like and subscribe to the Northern Gaming Club here on YouTube only, with notifications on to stay informed on new and upcoming releases and other gaming bullshit too. And for the grand finale, here's what happens if you stay out fishing past midnight.